I'm not even sure if this is worth videoing of, because it's going to be quite eclectic. There's no real...
Well, Darren will see what you... At least Darren and Vernon will see what you do.
Oh, yeah, I forget that actually, it's for them.
Your YouTube.
Well, we got our own technology to try and sort out anyway, because this is different to his. So.
Well, I can do this. Start off, indigo number, and there's a lot of muck in there as well. In fact, there's a bit of gooch in there, that's why it's gone a bit milky. You don't want gooch in there, by the way. But that's the sort of earth red raz with indigo, and let's air it on the warm side. So, probably a bit of that in.
That's the tricky bit, isn't it, now, when you're around the legs of the chairs?
Well, not really, look. Plenty of paint, spoon it up, not keep just touching it with a tip. And then, I shouldn't take that up a little bit, just plenty of paint, just get on with it. Now obviously, I might be doing this a little bit more. Carefully. Sorry. That's better. The fact that it's called wet edge, this technique, for the sake of the camera. You can see how much paint you've used already, look. The idea is that even that hasn't scarred. A thick dark line hasn't scarred because it's got a wet edge. It hasn't dried. And it gives you a lot of time. You see, when professional people do this, they're not struggling with brushes and folk filling out raffle tickets. it's the inherent respect that goes with the position. Actually, this doesn't hurt to mix up a few more colours, because in the grand scheme of things it gives you sort of some nice variances in the surface texture. Now notice that this is looking rather wrong because the marks are all downwards. Another reason for making that, I'll just use the come on point just so I can work down and into that. Remember, work into the job, not over the job, which is probably not what I'm doing. I'll just empty the brush out. A terrible dip there. So, say turning over, work into the job. Straighten up a bit. Now, it's fairly simple really, just make sure that any resultant marks take on a horizontal air. Now the idea is that the weight in the brush is exactly the same as the weight on the paper, again resultant because of the wet edge. And you don't get cabbages and kings, but it does result in again, a topographical mark. Ooh. And that'll give you, now this is, I've got to reload, but what you don't do now is fill that full of water and take that in there, because the first thing it'll do is set up a cabbage and a king, because you've got far more of a greater weight of water in there than you have on there. So it's like pouring milk on that. You know, M&M's, whatever we call them, I don't know, Smarties. Okay, Smarties all over the table. You pour a big bloody carton, can I say bloody? Pour a big bloody tumbler of milk into the middle and it'd go, and all the Smarties will be pushed away. That's exactly what happens when you get those Cabbies and Kings. It takes the pigment and just sluices it away. So what you've got to do is you've got to pour small amounts of water in so that it flows around the pigments. This is making it worse now because that's drying all the time. And this is where the whole timing thing of water comes in, watercolour. So what I'm going to do, look, I've mixed the new Raz up, but now I'm going to knock most of it out. So all the surplus is out, and I've got just enough in there, look. And hopefully I'll balance the water, the weight of water in my brush to what was available on the paper.